Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku daily analysis for the S&P 500 for Monday, March 12th, 2012. Well, a continuation of the trend to the upside today, and this candle has failed to change the trend. We have the previous day's trading making a higher high and a higher low. Today's candle we've had a lower high and a higher low. So no change of trend. In bar chart terms we have an inside day, and that's when the range of the bar of today is completely within the range of the previous day, and that does raise some doubt about continuation of the trend to the upside, basically because the buyers weren't strong enough to take out the previous high and continue the trend in terms of making higher highs. By the same token, the sellers were not strong enough to take out the previous low, so they didn't have enough commitment to take out the low, so a lot of indecision in the market. Also an indecisive type candle because it's a doji type candle where the market is basically open and closed in the same area, and it means that neither the buyers nor sellers have made neither net bullish nor bearish progress on the day between the open and the close, as compared to the previous 3 days trading where we had white-bodied candles and we had the sellers continually making net progress. Previous days trading, we previously had the buyers making net progress to the upside. For the previous day's trading, we saw the buyers make a smaller amount of net bullish progress than the day before, and that did set the market up for a potential change of trend, and now they've made even less, so there is strong potential for a change of trend here. Having said that, however, the sellers have failed to take control of this market. The buyers actually closed with control of this market by closing up between the midpoint level and the high, and the sellers lost commitment. We can see the shadow on the bottom of the candle. The buyers also lost commitment when the market attempted to trade up above the 1370.58 level that I've highlighted as a previous area of support and resistance, and the previous day's trading we failed to close substantially above there. We tested above there, but the buyers lost commitment. Now, in terms of Ichimoku, the market is bullish in all three time frames, and bullish in the long-term time frame by trading above the cloud, in the medium term by trading above the Kijun-sen, the pink line, and above the Tenkan-sen, the green line, and the Chikou span is confirming that bullish activity by trading above the corresponding price action. So potential for a change of trend to the upside. We do have resistance at the 1370.58 level and then at the 1378 level, but strong support down below at the Tenkan-sen at 1359, a previous support level at 1356, at the Kijun-sen 1352, and then down to 1347 and 1339, extending all the way down to the top of the cloud, roughly around the 1300 level. If we do see the market continue trending up, and there is a possibility, just because we have an inside day and a doji type pattern, it doesn't mean that there will be a change of trend. We do need confirmation of a change of trend, and if we do see the market return to the bullish bias that it had, then we could easily see the market trading to 1400 if we see a strongly bullish close up above the 1378 level. So overall, a market where we have bullishness in all three time frames, but at the moment in the very short term not supported by the buyers, but certainly no support from the bears by the same token. Next, moving to gold, and here we see a black body candle for today's trading, a continuation of the trend to the upside. Previous day's trading we had an outside day in bar chart terms, and then a candle that made a higher high and a higher low prior to that, so that established the trend to the upside. For the previous day's trading we saw the market test within that zone of support and resistance that I highlighted previously, highlighted by the yellow colour, and we've found resistance within there, and we've seen price rejection from there for today's trading. A black body candle in contrast to the previous 3 days trading where the buyers made net bullish progress. Today the sellers have made net bearish progress. But the trend hasn't changed. The market has maintained the uptrend in the first time frame. The black body has a small shadow on the bottom. The shadow represents the sellers losing commitment, so even though the sellers have made net bearish progress, they've attempted to take control of this market, and they lost commitment when they were trading down below the 1700 round number level. And we can see for the previous day's trading, the market found support down below there, and for today's trading we've seen the buyers come back in down around that level. The sellers have taken control of this market, but it's only fairly weak control. They've closed the market just down below the midpoint level, but it's not terribly significant, so a failure to take control. So that does raise some doubt about a change of trend to the downside. In terms of Ichimoku, the market is trading above the cloud, so the market is maintaining its overall bullish bias. The market is, however, trading below the Kijun-sen and the Tenkan-sen, and that suggests that the market is bearish in the medium term and fast term timeframes by trading below both of those indicators. The checkout span here is trading below the current price action, and that's confirming what we're seeing in the shorter timeframes, but certainly not confirming what we're seeing in the longer time frame with the bullish bias. In terms of the next day's trading, certainly the area below 1700 does offer as very strong support for this market. Below there we do have the cloud, which extends from the top of the cloud about 1680 down to about 1645, so a very large amount of solid support for this market. But to the upside, we do have this zone of resistance that has been highlighted previously, and that is a very significant zone, and if we are going to see this market turn bullish again, we will need to trade above there. The Kijun-sen at the moment and the Tenkan-sen are trading at the top of that zone. We need to ignore the green line here, the Tenkan-sen pointing down very sharply at the moment, because that reflects the current candle that's trading at the moment, and that's not complete. So if you look here where the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen actually closed at, they closed at the 1728 level, at the same level. So they will offer us very strong resistance up around that level. So in big picture terms, a bullish market, but we are seeing quite some negativity entering into the market, bearish in the medium term and long term and short term timeframes. But we've seen the buyers lose control, and there is potential for a change of trend, but very strong support down below and strong resistance overhead. Next, moving to light sweet crude oil, and for today's trading we've had a change of trend to the downside. Previous 3 days trading we had an uptrend in place with candles that were making higher highs and higher lows, and highlighted previously that the market was trending up on indecisive spinning top type candles. The spinning top candle here did suggest a lot of indecision in the market. The market tested to above the Tenkan-sen, and that has held as resistance. We saw the candle test above that level and the buyers lose commitment. By the same token, the sellers lost commitment down below the 106.95 previous resistance and now support level. And for today's trading, we've seen that change of trend with the current candle making a lower high and a lower low. We also have a black bodied candle as opposed to the previous 3 white bodied candles, which does suggest that the sellers have made net bearish progress as opposed to the buyers making bullish progress, and that's significant. Having said that, however, the market did fail to close down below the midpoint level, and that's very significant as well. So it means that the sellers aren't necessarily supporting this change of trend to the downside. The buyers have maintained control of this market by trading closing just above the midpoint level, but it's only very, very weak control. It's not strong control whatsoever. But more significant is the long shadow on the bottom and the test to the low at 105.31. The long shadow represents upside price rejection from that area, and it highlights the strength of the 105.31 support level. The shadow represents the sellers losing commitment down around that area, so that will be a significant area for tomorrow's trading. Down below there we do have the window that was previously opened up, and that window has been closed by the market trading down below there, but significantly the market failed to close down below that level. Now if we do see the market test down to that level and close in a bearish manner down below there, we could see the market trading to substantially lower levels. It will mean that the sellers have had the strength to overcome any of the buying that occurred down around that level, and could have some very strong downside momentum and test to lower levels. Below there we have support at the 103.39 level, at the Kijun-sen at 103.20, then down to the round number 100. Some minor levels around the 102 level, and also around the 101 level as well. To the upside, if we do see a change of trend to the upside, obviously we do have strong resistance at the Tenkan-sen, which is trading at 107.45, and then at this minor swing high at 108.26, and the top of this very strong upswing in the market at 110.45. In terms of Ichimoku, the market is bullish in the long-term time frame by trading above the cloud, and bullish in the medium-term time frame by trading above the Kijun-sen, but bearish in the short-term time frame by trading below the Tenkan-sen. And the short-term dynamics are certainly not favouring the buyers, even though the sellers have lost commitment, but significantly the buyers have lost control of this market and have really shown no commitment to taking this market higher. Looking at the Chikou span, that's above the corresponding price action, so it's supporting what we're seeing in the higher longer time frames, but not supporting the bearishness that we're seeing in the shorter time frame. So basically we have a market that's trending down. The important level here for this market is around the low of today's trading, roughly around the 105.31 level, and then certainly down to the 104.50 level where we have the bottom of this window that was opened, and then down to the 103.39 level. Resistance at the 106.95 and at the Tenkan-sen at 107.45.